Hello and welcome to Akshu's Kitchen. Today you will see how to prepare Puttu, which is very famous in Kerala, for which you will need some raw rice. The quantity depends on how much you are going to prepare. If you are going to prepare in bulk, you can prepare about 1 kilo or 2 kilo rice and store it in advance. Or if you are going to prepare for only one occasion, then you can use about 1 cup or so, depending on number of person you need to serve. You will need about a cup of rice for about 2 to 3 people. So today I'm going to prepare in bulk and store. So I'm using about 2 kilos of rice and I've soaked it in water for about a couple of hours, and once it's all soaked well, I'm going to drain it and keep it aside. The most important thing is the water should be well drained. So this is a traditional strainer which I am using now. You can use a normal stainless steel strainer. So make sure you drain all the water and put it on the strainer for another half an hour or maybe 1 hour, so that the water is completely drained out and the rice becomes a little dry. So if it is a little dry, it will be easier while grinding it into a fine powder. So next I am going to grind it in a mixer or blender. Again, if you are preparing in bulk quantity for 2 kilos or 3 kilos, what you can do is drain the water completely and then get it grinded in a machine where you usually grind the chili powder and coriander powder in the rice mill. That will be much easier. But if you are preparing at home in very little quantity, then what you can do is you can use your home mixer or blender. So I'm going to grind it into a fine powder and then I'm going to sieve it well with a siever. So make sure it is completely fine when you sieve it. Any coarse material left out should be taken out. So that's the main reason for sieving it. So once you sieve this completely, what you can do is you need not discard the coarse material. You can take this and put it in the blender again, and when you grind the second batch or next batch, what you can do is you can add this along with the rice and again grind it into a fine powder. So by doing that, you need not waste the coarse rice which is ground properly. So you have to continue this process until all the rice is used up and you have got the fine powder. But again, as I already said, if you are preparing in bulk quantity, you can get it grinded in the machine, and once it's all done, I am going to leave it for another hour so that the moisture in this powder is completely dried up, so that it will be easy for us when we fry this, because we are going to fry this now so that it becomes a very dry powder. So if there is more moisture, it will take longer time to fry it. So if it gets dried for a 1 hour or couple of hours, you can fry it easily. So if you are grinding it in the afternoon, you can fry it in the evening, or if you are grinding it in the evening, you can fry it in the night. So giving some time will make it dry easily. For example, if you fry it immediately after grinding, you will take, in case if it takes 20 minutes, if you allow it to dry for about a couple of hours and then fry it, it will be done in 13 to 14 minutes. So just to ease out that, you need to allow it to dry. Now you can see the texture has completely changed. The sticky texture has become to a very dry and grainy texture. The main reason for frying this well is for storage, that is for shelf life. You can store it for a couple of months, and also the puttu will be very tasty. So allow it to cool down to room temperature, and once it's done, you can store it in a airtight container and use it whenever required. Again, if you are using only 1 cup of rice, just grind it, fry it, and you can immediately start preparing the puttu. You need not take much time. Just grind it, immediately fry it, because little quantity will get fried easily. So I am storing it, and when I'm going to prepare, I just take about 1 to 1.5 cups of flour from this and add about half a teaspoon of salt to this and mix it all well together. Add enough water to this. Don't add too much of water, add little by little, because this rice flour does not accept more water like the atta flour or maida. So just add little by little and you should get a crumbly texture. You'll not get a dough type or something like that. You'll just get a crumbly texture. Add water little by little and just make sure you break out all the clusters and get a mix like this, very dry, not very moist, and a crumbly mixture. So now you will need the puttu maker to prepare the puttu. You will have a base for that. Just put it to the bottom, and then I have some fresh grated coconut here. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of grated coconut to the bottom. That will be the first layer, and then I'm going to top it with a handful of the prepared puttu mix. So you can prepare it in either 3 layers of puttu or 4 layers of puttu or just 2 layers of puttu. So you'll need to add some grated coconut between each layers to separate them. So once I have added 1 handful of flour, I have added about 2 tablespoons of coconut. Again, top it with 1 handful of flour, some coconut, and finally this last layer of flour, and finish off with the grated coconut at the top. So now it's ready to get steamed. I've got a pressure cooker without whistle, and I've got a very little water, about half a cup of water boiling in it. So once the steam starts coming out, I'm going to place the puttu maker in it. So there you will have a loop in it in the bottom. Make sure it fits the whistle holder and allow it to get steamed. Now you can see the vapor is traveling upwards. It has to travel up until it reaches the top of the puttu maker, and the steam or vapor starts coming out of the top layer. And once it reaches the top layer, the puttu is cooked. So I am just showing it in close. You can see the vapor or steam coming out of the top of the puttu. It gets cooked very quickly, about 2 to 3 minutes maximum. So once it's done, make sure not to hurt yourself and take it out, and you'll have a skewer like this. It will come along with the puttu maker. So if in case if you don't have it, you can use a normal skewer at home. So try to push it slowly from the bottom. Push it gently so that you do not break the puttu layers. So once you start pushing, you will get the puttu from the other end one by one. Because we have used coconut between each layers, it will beautifully separate the puttu layers, and you can take out the base and keep it aside. And now puttu is ready. Serve with kadala curry or banana or any side of your choice. This is a very famous Kerala dish. Try it and you'll really like it. Thank you for watching Akshu's Kitchen.